Hello, students. We are studying the various schools of Western philosophy. We completed idealism and now we are going to do naturalism. In philosophy, naturalism is considered as the idea or belief that only natural laws and forces operate in the world. Naturalists assert that natural laws are the rules that govern the structure and behavior of the natural universe, that is, the changing universe at every stage is a product of these laws. Naturalism is defined most briefly as the philosophical concept that the only reality is nature, as gradually discovered by our intelligence using the tools of experience, reason, and science. There are three sorts of naturalism, how it is viewed as. Number one is romantic naturalism. Under this, the practice of coercive authoritarian methods of practice are protested. The notion of child being a flower to unfold naturally is embraced in romantic naturalism. It is emphasized that the school must be an environment in which the child's spontaneity, felt needs, and activity are effective in learning. The second view is that of science and sentiment. Child study movement in education began as an effort to induce educational reform through the scientific study of the child, but it was dominated by sentiment. Their belief in centrality of child life in the curriculum led them to regard child's interest in spontaneous activity indulgently as achievement rather than as means towards intellective and social growth. Third view is that of humanistic curriculum. During the 1960s, as a reaction against subject dominated cognitive learning, humanistic thinking was promoted. This can be seen from Charles Silberman's best selling book Crisis in the Classroom, where emphasis was laid on humanizing American schools. It was complained that schools are training children with docility and conformity. He suggested the British infant school system at the elementary level and independent study, peer tutoring, and community and work experience at the secondary level. Let us discuss the characteristics of naturalism now. Number one is going back to nature. Out of the three essential factors of education, namely nature, man, and object, naturalism gives prime importance to nature, hence, its call is back to nature. According to naturalists, the best teacher of the child is nature, hence, to develop the child according to his nature, education should provide natural environment. Secondly, education as a natural necessity. The naturalists regard education as a natural necessity. For them, educational institutions are unwanted creation of men superimposed upon nature. Thirdly, development of natural life. Education is a purpose of development of the natural life. As Munro perceives it, education is the process of developed into an enjoyable, rational, harmoniously balanced, useful, and hence natural life. Fourthly, freedom of child in the education. Then we have child centered educational process. Since the child occupies the central and pivotal role in the naturalism setup, the child's nature is in the forefront where all other things such as education, books, curriculum, the school are in the background. Then there's also opposition to bookish knowledge. The prevalent education at that time meant more cramming of Greek and Latin literature. But naturalists opposed this education, calling it artificiality, snobbery, and mere show. They emphasized real education to be according to the nature of the child through natural interests and activities. Naturalists also emphasized on the need for freedom of the child. The school, the timetable, the books, and the teacher should not condition his experience in any way, as per planning or preconditioning spoils one's natural growth and stunts one's normal development. The child should be put under no restraints, no interferences, no difficulties, and no confusions. Lastly, naturalists also gave emphasis on the training of senses. Nothing is acquired by force from outside. Our senses are the gateways of knowledge. These senses need training to discharge their function with efficiency. In this connection, Rousseau has well said, education should prepare the way for reason by the proper exercise of senses. The three forms of naturalism are physical naturalism, mechanical naturalism, and biological naturalism. In physical naturalism, the form of naturalism concentrates its hold on external nature. The laws of physical nature govern the laws of human life. The fundamental of these laws is that the natural is good and civilized evil. While mechanical naturalism regards man as a machine, mind is well as man is matter. He's mere machine devoid of spiritual soul. This machine is run by time guiding principles, and these principles are natural. Thirdly, biological naturalism emphasizes the development of man's natural impulses, natural propensities, and inborn tendencies. Since the aims of education are self preservation, securing the necessities of life, raising children, maintenance of social and political relations, and enjoyment or leisure, naturalism gives ideas about the aims of education. Each stage through which a child passes has a specific aim of education, and these aims differ according to the stages. The aim of education during the first stage of child is to gain knowledge, and all the wants and needs of child are to be fulfilled. The aim of education is to provide the child with strength that the child lacks at the ability of being free. The third stage aims of education to enable the child to acquire useful knowledge which would satisfy the child's wants. The aim of education is to develop the child emotionally and morally according to the child's need. Now, stages of education according to Rousseau can be divided into four stages, starting with infancy, childhood, adolescence, and lastly, youth. Impact of naturalism on education can be classified into curriculum, methods of teaching, the teacher, the student, discipline, and school. In the latest stage of curriculum, naturalists believe that there should be no rigid curriculum, while the idealists believe that emphasis on study of humanity should be given, but naturalists believe that science subjects should be given more importance. Thirdly, naturalists also believe that the focal point in the curriculum construction should be textbook and teaching should be oriented towards science and scientific point of view with simplicity and objectivity. In terms of methods of teaching, Rousseau emphasized two-way play method of teaching, learning by doing, and during play also child learns a lot and is educated. According to naturalists, people learn more through direct experience, that is by doing rather than by reading the books. So Rousseau argued not to use any book in the childhood and adulthood stage. In terms of teacher and teaching, Rousseau thought that child's natural development takes place only when he is allowed to develop freely without any hindrance or interference from outside. Thus, naturalists do not like that children should be taught in classes by teachers. In terms of students, naturalists consider a child as the hero in the drama of education, if I may say so. They state that education is for the child rather than the child for the education. They emphasized the fact that a child should be treated as a child and not as an adult. In terms of discipline, naturalists depend upon nature and advocate the theory of discipline of natural consequences. Nature will punish the child if he goes against the laws of nature, and thus he will learn by consequence of his own actions. In terms of school, organization of school is rigid, controlled, and artificial. Thus, they assert that school environment should be completely free, flexible, and without any rigidity. Though naturalism has various merits, like it allows natural interests and capacities of children to grow, and it is child-centered process, it focuses on learning from experiences of children, and it brings a variety in teaching methods which are effective. But at the same time, they emphasize too much on nature and natural development. The aims of education of naturalism are one sided and unsatisfying. Also, emphasis is given on present needs, which will avoid the preparation of the people for future, which is very important. In the next class, we are going to study pragmatism. If you have any doubts regarding naturalism or any other related topic, feel free to contact us.